right, here we go. It's in progress once again. Our weekly offload session, during which we offload all the things that have been kind of sticking in our craw over the last week or so here at Progress, Texas. I'm podcasting director Chris Mosier, joined by executive director Kathleen Thompson.
Hello.
And digital director Sam Gonzalez.
Hello.
And digital associate Haley Smith.
Hey, y'all.
And I did that all without reading it, and I'm very proud of myself. And so
we're all proud of you, Chris.
Thank you so much. And so we're starting out today. I'm going to start here. We had a terrific time hanging out in San Antonio. I love San Antonio so much. I love being there. I love the vibe there. I love the food there. I love the people there. We had a terrific gathering at our Party for Progress. Really, really fun. Haley was there with us as part of our crew, and I got to hang out. I actually got some one-to-one FaceTime with Mayor Ron Nirenberg, which made me feel really cool. He's a terrific dude, and of course Gina Ortiz-Jones, who is now, I guess you could kind of call her the Democratic nominee. I suppose it's a nonpartisan race technically, but she's a Democrat versus a Republican in the mayoral race at this point. Haley, did you get to talk much with either of those folks, and what were your impressions of the party?
Unfortunately not. I saw the mayor on his way in, and the podcast recording was immediately after that. But I did get to see Gina and the talk, and yeah, you guys, if you're listening, go listen to that pod. It's super awesome, and I love San Antonio, and I live in San Marcos, and I don't go out there nearly as much as I should. But hearing the mayor talk about all of his platforms and how he's making the city so much better with these common sense reforms, it makes me hopeful for the future of progressive politics in Texas, because these things are winning platforms, and if given the opportunity, they will make people's lives better. So it was just a good time to remind myself why I'm doing this with great folks in a great place with great food. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, terrific food.
These races are not necessarily nonpartisan. They're just not in the primary. They're totally partisan.
Right.
Gina is a Democrat running, and she's going to be in a runoff with a Republican who's running, and we have totally different values and totally different priorities. So yes, it's not out of a March primary, but it's definitely a partisan race.
Let's paint the picture just a little bit here for people who, San Antonio is one town out of a great big state, and a lot of people may not be following what has happened there. So there were 27 people that ran for mayor. 27 candidates.
When Reagan said that, I said, no way. And he's like, yes, okay, look.
And I think I might have accidentally ran for San Antonio.
Yeah, Sam was one of those people that got
I might have been. I don't know.
So
I voted for you.
I did too, Sam. So so here, actually, we can't vote in San Antonio. Anyway, what I'm saying is Gina managed to pull down 20, just so happens out of 27 candidates, pulled down 27% of the vote, which might seem, and she was number one. She came out way ahead, got the most votes out of all these 27 candidates.
Right on.
Second place is a guy whose name escapes me, but the important thing to remember about him is he is a former Texas Secretary of State under Greg Abbott. He is a Republican. He is a Greg Abbott machine Republican. And another thing to think about is this is a runoff election. And so when a runoff, they had historically low turnout, by the way, for the election the other day,
That's
the
right.
first one. And so the runoff traditionally is going to be even less well attended and well participated in. So the Republicans, especially considering that they got smashed up and down all over Texas in municipal races, the Republicans would love nothing more than to be able to take this one. This is huge. Mayor of the 7th biggest city in the country is a major, major prize that Greg Abbott and the Republican machine, who have all kinds of money, would love to spend a whole bunch of money. So let's just say they decide to do that and dump a ton of money into this mayoral runoff in San Antonio. If they're able to activate, 4,000, 3,000 votes, they could swing it. They could win it. They have tons of money. They want it really bad. Everybody seems to think it's over and done with, and Gina's the heir apparent, and we hope that's the case. I'm worried that may not be the case. I'm worried that the Republicans have a steal opportunity.
Make sure that you go and vote again. There's a runoff. If there's runoffs in your local elections, go check to see if there's runoffs in your local elections. It may not be over. So if you're happy and celebrating and waving the flag, a little too early for some places. So make sure you check your local listings, as they say, and make sure that you don't have a runoff. When would they be?
It's June 7th.
So yeah. June 7th, make sure you don't have an election, because we can do all the flag waving and bask in our victories, which we should, but we need to finish up a few more of those victories, especially San Antonio mayor.
There's something weird about mayors in big cities in Texas too, by the way. We had one flip to the other party in Dallas. Eric Johnson went from D to R, in the middle of his term, which is insane.
Right after being reelected as a Democrat.
Right. The mayor in Houston, John Whitmire, is not the most progressive guy in the world. We don't necessarily dislike him, but he's not super progressive. There are a lot of people who say the same things about Kirk Watson, who's the mayor of Austin. So the Republicans would love to be able to score San Antonio. It would be a massive feather in their cap to be able to claim that office, and we simply can't let it happen.
And I mean, we saw it this week. I mean, Haley, you had a big old thing happen this week when you're talking about the victories of the progressive platform. As the digital director, I'm also very happy about that. But go ahead, Haley. I wasn't the one that did it. You're the one that did it. So go ahead.
Well, it's a team effort.
Team effort.
But no, yeah, we had a TikTok blow up and happened to have my face on it. And I've been stopped a couple times, like on campus. I go to Texas State University, go Bobcats. But I've been stopped a couple times by people that are like, I saw the TikTok, like, I know you. And it's just really cool, especially working in digital. Like, I feel like it's easy to think like I'm just sitting behind a screen or like I'm just posting things. But seeing that like what I do really does make an impact, and people do see the things that I post, and people will come to events and talk, and these are winning platforms. Progressivism is the future, and it feels really good to be a part of it and seeing all these wins.
Yeah, I mean, almost 250,000 people saw that video. That's a big thing, and that's a big thing for Progress Texas, because you had a bunch of signs behind you that said Progress Texas.
Yeah.
So
got my sign right here, actually.
Even if they didn't see it for more than a second, they got subliminally advertised, which is what you get here at Progress Texas. Subliminal Progress Texas.
We're brainwashing you.
And by
secret signals.
And by subliminal, I mean Katie has 7 behind her, and I have 1 on my head. So.
That's right.
Audio listeners, make sure you're watching the video products of this on all of our social media, because it's I'm the digital director, and that's my job. So go to our follow all our stuff. Anyway,
subscribe, smash that subscribe button.
5 stars.
Oh yeah, we've never heard that before.
And share that content with your friends. I was pointing out to coworkers here. Did you see this? Somebody took Haley's video and made it their own. Did you see this other person who took Haley's video and made it their own? So please share the content that you like with your friends, because you're going to be a trusted friend and family member and neighbor, and you putting your stamp of approval on what we're saying and sharing it is so important. And that's how we're getting to the hundreds of thousands of views and more, and it's going to keep going. So thank you for sharing, folks listening at home.
Even if it's a stitch on TikTok where you're in the bottom corner creepily just pointing at Haley and nodding.
That's what they call that? That's a stitch?
Stitch is when you use someone else, or when you get someone else's content and put it with yours.
And put your face on it? Okay.
So, but just, you can even do that where you're creepy in the bottom, real small, and pointing up and nodding to everything that
one of the ladies, for the listeners at home, was making a heart sign over what Haley was saying about the importance of progressive wins.
I like it.
Republicans, they want that feather in their cap, but they already have a big win this session with the school voucher thing. I mean, we lost, and it hurt, and it still irritates me. Once again, if you watch this show, if you listen to this show, I'm pretty much only on this show, and I talk about why the GOP hates our children. And so they already hate our children by doing school choice, quote unquote choice, school voucher scams. But they also said, well, we're also going to fund public schools. We have this bill that's going to, and then it's going to give them teachers raises, and it's going to be good for all. And it's completely in the right direction, but totally not far enough. It's Teacher Appreciation Week this week, and we are not appreciating teachers nearly enough with how much money they should be making and how much care they do for your children and how much they provide for our society. But whatever. But they're not finishing writing the bill into law. Greg Abbott had a big old celebration about school vouchers. He did it on a Saturday because he was afraid of protests and people showing up and spending their one day they have off to yell at him, which luckily that's my job, as I spend all of my days yelling at him. And they're just not doing it. They're like, we will pass it. We're thinking about it. It's just held up for no reason, because they can, because they hate children, because I don't know. They need to tell me, because I don't know a good gosh darn reason why they are not just signing this bill and saying, let's take care of our teachers. Let's take care of the people that take care of our children. Sorry, that's what gets me. These people take care of our children. They take care of the family unit. They talk about families. They talk about birth rates. They talk about all this stuff with kids, and they can't even pay teachers. And they don't even rush to give them the little piece of crumbs that they gave them this session. They're not even clamoring to be like, we support teachers, we support educators, we support families. They're stalling and they're kicking the can, and it's infuriating.
It's super cynical because all through this entire time, almost as a way to make everybody feel better about the fact that they were going to force vouchers through, was going to be this historic, which it's not, increase in in school funding. And they were even calling it the Texas two-step. In other words, two bills, one that was going to take care of vouchers and the other that was going to take care of public schools. Everybody just relax. Public schools are going to be fine. It's the Texas two-step. And as Sam talked about, HB2 has been sitting now in the Senate Education K through 16 committee since April 23rd, which, as we're recording that, is now over 2 weeks ago.
Right.
And I don't know if Haley or Kathleen or Sam knows the timeline in terms of the deadline to get things done in the current legislature. It's winding down. We're coming down to the last part of the session.
Yeah, it's less than 2 weeks, I think. And what gets me mad about it is the fact that they're kicking the can on this, and then they're going into with these new rating systems with the school system, and they're giving previously performing well enough schools a bunch of Fs because they changed the standards and they changed the way that they measure it. And if you get 2 Fs in a row, then superintendents, then principals, then teachers get lower pay. They get fired. They get state takeovers threatened or genuinely taken over. And so they're literally piecemeal chopping apart our public schools, and they don't even have the goddamn decency to give them that little bit of change to pretend like they want to keep them open. It's so I don't want to cuss too much, but you know what it is.
Yeah. And I bet Greg Abbott isn't going to call a million special sessions to get funding for futures pushed through.
Very unlikely.
Why would he?
Because he could have done it at any session since teacher pay raises. He could have done it at any time since 2023 with the 4 not so special sessions.
And if only a Pennsylvanian billionaire cared about Texas children, then Abbott would care. If only someone paid Abbott to care about our children, because that's apparently the only way you can get to that soulless man. Sorry. Or maybe not. I don't know.
Don't be sorry.
He cares about some of the children. He cares about the children, from wealthy families. He cares about the children who are that are going to end up in a parochial school somewhere, minus their vaccines. And don't get me started there.
He'll be a lobbyist someday. It'll be fine.
If he cared about even the rich kids, he'd be like, hey, make sure you get vaccinated that you don't get measles in this state. But those are the kids, allegedly, right? That's the narrative. These people are like, nah, we're not going to vaccinate. He doesn't care about any of these, even the rich kids. He's like, let them get measles because I'm going to keep promoting no masks. And I'm going to say that's I'm going to pass bills so you can't wear masks because it's terrorism or whatever the hell every GOP person's on about with this stuff.
I want to pick up from your Teacher Appreciation Week. There's also a big appreciation coming up on Sunday, and that's Mother's Day.
Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day, Kathleen.
Thank you.
Happy Mother's Day.
I'm the proud mama of 3 awesome young Texans, and I wanted to talk about today the Trump administration's idea of a $5,000 baby bonus, which makes me want to laugh out of my chair that $5,000 would be enough to incentivize a woman to become a mother or to have more children in Texas, where gun violence is the #1 killer of our children, where there's currently a massive measles outbreak that's underway that's crossing state lines, and where schools are underfunded, and where the air could be a hell of a lot cleaner. It's a decision that should be everyone's own personal decision when and how to raise a family. But Texas makes it hard, and Republicans make it hard to be a parent in America. All 3 of my children were born and welcomed into our family, and I didn't have paid medical leave because my employers, didn't offer it. With my eldest, I had leave where I wouldn't lose my job. But it's really on a case by case, who's your employer? If you're going to have paid medical leave, if you're going to have parental leave at Progress Texas, our employee manual talks about parental leave. It's not just for moms because we care about our staff members. But what if can the other parent take off time with you? $5,000 doesn't cover the cost to have a child, doesn't cover, daycare or pre-K.
But KT, you get a medal. You get a medal.
Do you actually get a medal?
If the president,
yeah, they were
offered,
talking about medals for women who have 6 children.
Well, that changes the game. That's obviously a great reason to start just going crazy.
I'm sure it'll be a tacky gold medal that looks like the Home Depot gold lacquer that they've added to the Oval Office. But it's just laughable if Republicans.
Does it have Trump's face on it? At least. I hope not.
If we want to support families and grow families, we need to have paid medical leave. We need to have health care that's universal health care. We need to have good paying jobs and a higher minimum wage. We need to have fully funded public neighborhood schools. And we're not even close to that. But I just wanted to point out that there was a candidate on the ballot in November who had keeping permanent the child tax credit. And too many Americans said, no, she's a woman and she's black. Pass. I'd rather not have that.
Man.
I'm right. I'm right in the realm of starting a family and trying to own a home. And she was like, yeah, we'll give you a couple bucks and some child tax credits or whatever. Also, we'll give you like $20,000 for a new home. And I'm like, yeah. And we'll give you $10,000 off your student loans. And I'm like, hell yeah, my life's about to come up. And now I'm checking my Mohela student loan thing to make sure I'm not paying $1,500 a month, which I can't afford and probably won't be paying if they yell at me. But there's so many lawsuits going on. I think my specific account is in permanent limbo. So
you said Mohela and like a chill went down my spine. Like, no.
Right. It's they could take my student loan money for my probably cold dead hands because I will be dead by the time I'm able to never pay that off. So.
But we had money to forgive PPP loans that went to.
Oh, I should have committed so much fraud. I should have committed so much fraud.
Millions of dollars in PPP loans, but we can't help young families with $50,000 here, $100,000 there. But we do have multi-millions for people who are already millionaires. The priorities are all screwed up. Do
you guys know the rock band Alice in Chains? Have y'all heard of Alice in Chains? They apparently took some big loan that they have not been forgiven. So they've taken a bit of a hit, in the PR department, which is a bummer. I'm a real big fan of that band, but they totally took advantage. So
why wouldn't you? If we know what we knew then, what we knew now, if that's how you say the phrase, I would, like I said, I would commit so much. Well, it wouldn't have been fraud. It would have just been like, oh yeah, my local podcast, I need $50,000 to maintain my payroll that I'm not paying these guys. And I would have been, if it would have gotten forgiven, shoot, I would have been a happy camper. But alas, no give outs for regular Texans or people, only for the rich.
Yeah, we get the bootstraps.
Oh yeah.
So I want to say, in appreciation of all moms, I vote Democratic every time.
That's right.
And I'll be voting Democratic in the midterms, and the parties are nothing alike. And if we support women and families, especially young children in Texas, there's only one party who's interested in helping make our families and kiddos safer and live better lives, and that's the Democratic Party.
I want to shout out my mom, Dolores Mosier, who I think is the loudest Democrat in all of Lubbock, Texas, and taught me well. So happy Mother's Day, Mom.
Oh, I'll do a shout out to my mom too. Hi, Mom. Norma Lestraco, the loudest Democrat in Brazoria County.
Awesome.
I love her. Happy Mother's Day, Mom.
That's how I'm Texan by blood. I'm born in California, but my mom is from Harlingen, Texas. Right. Not the point. So, the stars are right. I'm sorry, I always get it wrong. Anyway,
I was
deep
ready to
in
clap.
the heart of Texas. Yeah,
I was ready to clap.
My grandpa would do that, and my grandma would do that at every party that they had. And so, happy Mother's Day, Mom and Grandma, who's from Harlingen.
Awesome. Well, hey, thanks everybody for listening to our weekly complaint session. We can't do it without you, and we don't want to do it in private in our meetings, so we do it right out here in public. So that's in progress for this week. Thank you, Kathleen. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Haley. Thank you, listeners. Thank you, everybody who came out to the party in San Antonio again. Was very well attended, and we met all kinds of really cool people there, and we can't wait to go and do that again. Thanks to Mayor Ron and to Gina Ortiz-Jones for coming out as well. And it's been a heck of a week, y'all.
Call your mom. Bye.
Bye, y'all.